Hello, good evening, student. Welcome our channel, the one and only Physics Point. And in this lecture, we have started discussions of the types of chemical reaction. This is the lecture number 3 of the chemical reaction and equation, chapter number 3 of the 10th standard Master Trade Board. And in this lectures, we have done discussions of the types of chemical reactions. The types of chemical reactions are classified with the help of the number of reactants and products are available in the chemical reactions and the reactivity of the elements which are involved or reactivity of the elements which are involved in the reactants, and these reactants are involved in the chemical reaction. Please take the heading, that is types of chemical reaction. Types of chemical reaction. There are four types of the chemical reaction: combination reaction, decomposition reaction. Combination and decomposition reactions both are inverse to each other, and these reactions are depends on the number of reactants and number of products in the chemical equations. And another remaining two types are the displacement reaction and double displacement reaction. Displacement reaction, the high reactive elements or high reactive ions replace to the less reactive elements or less reactive ions to form a new products. This is called as the displacement reaction. And double displacement reactions are exchanging of the elements in the reactants or exchanging of the ions in the reactant to form different product. This is the double displacement reactions. First, that is, the first one is combination reaction. Combination reaction. And we take a one only single example for the combination and decomposition both reactions for easy to understand. The first, what is the combination reaction? The two or more reactants are combined to each other to form a single product. Two or more reactants are combined to each other to form a single product. This reaction is known as the combination reaction. There are two or more reactants, two or more reactants combine to each other, combine and form a single product, form the single product. This reaction is called, this chemical reaction is combination reaction. Combination means the two or more reactants are combined to each other. Two or more reactants are combined to each other to form a single product. This is the combination type of reactions. For example, when the calcium oxide is react with the carbon dioxide. Calcium oxide is react with the carbon dioxide. There are two different reactants to form a single product. Calcium carbonate, calcium oxide and carbon dioxide are combined to each other to form calcium carbonate. This is the example of combination reactions. Two reactants are combined to each other to form a single product. One another example is hydrogen. Two hydrogen molecules are react with the two oxygen molecules or a single oxygen molecules. Two hydrogen molecules react with the oxygen to give water. This is the combination type of reaction. In that reactions, two or more. In this both examples, we taken the two reactant to form a single product. This is called as the combination type of reaction. One another example of the combination reactions, when the magnesium metal 2Mg is react with oxygen or burn in presence of the oxygen, they get oxidized to form 2MgO. Two different reactants are combined to each other to form a single product. This reaction is known as combination reaction. Then second one is decomposition reaction. The part B is decomposition. Decomposition reaction. In the chemical reactions, two or more products are formed. In the chemical reaction, two or more products are formed by the single reactant. This is called as decomposition reaction. There are two or more products, two or more products are formed by single reactants, by single reactants. This decomposition process or decomposition reaction is exactly opposite type of the combination reaction. Because in the combination reactions, two or more reactants are combined to each other to form a single product. But in the decomposition reaction, we take the same example to form the calcium carbonate. When the calcium carbonate is burned to give calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. This is the decomposition reaction and this is the combination reaction. In that reactions, two reactants are combined to each other to form a single product. In that reactions, two or single reactant. In this reaction, single reactants are gets decomposed to form two or more products. This is called as the decomposition reactions. Or ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride gets decomposed to form ammonia and hydrochloric acid. When the ammonium chloride gets decomposed to form the ammonia and hydrochloric acid, this is another examples of the decomposition reaction. These are the two reactions which are depends on the number of reactants and number of products. And the another one, there's a third type. This is the displacement reaction. The displacement reactions are depends on the reactivity of the ions which are included in that chemical equation. The third part, displacement reaction. Displacement reaction. In the chemical reactions, the more reactive elements or more reactive ions gets replaced the less reactive ions of the reactant and form the products. For example, when silver is react with H2SO4, two silver molecules react with H2SO4 to gives AzO, Az2SO4. The silver is replaced the hydrogen. Hydrogen is a less reactive ions and silver is a more reactive ions. They gets replaced and hydrogen molecules gets released. This is the displacement reaction. When the sodium is react with calcium sulfate, CaSO4, sorry, Ca2SO4 to gives sodium sulfate, that is Na2SO4 plus calcium C2. The calcium is less reactant as compared to the sodium. That means sodium gets replaced in the place of calcium. Calcium gets released to form the sodium sulfate. This is the another type of the chemical reactions. Or Ag is react with the calcium carbonate to give silver carbonate or sodium carbonate. Sorry, when sodium is react with Na2 is react with the calcium carbonate. Sodium Na2 is react with calcium carbonate to form sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate and calcium gets released. Calcium gets released. This is the examples of the displacement reaction. In the chemical reactions, the less reactive materials gets displaced for more reactive ions. This is called as displacement reactions. Or less reactive ions, less reactive elements get displaced to more reactive. The definition is the chemical reaction, the chemical reaction, or in the chemical reactions in which the more reactive the more reactive the more reactive ion is replaced to less reactive to less reactive ion. This chemical reaction is called as displacement reaction. Chemical reaction in which the more reactive gets replaced in the less reactive ions. This is called as the displacement reaction. Before the rubbing, just revise what we are discussed. There are the three types of chemical reactions. Fourth one we'll discuss in this same lecture. The types of chemical reaction: combination, decomposition, displacement reaction. Combination and decomposition reactions are exactly reverse to each other because they are depends on the number of reactants and number of products. If the two or more reactants are combined to each other to form a single product, this reaction is called as combination reaction. These are the examples of the combination reaction. The decomposition reaction, when two or more products are formed by single reactants, this process is called as, or this chemical reaction is called as decomposition reaction. The third one is displacement reaction. In the chemical reaction, more reactive ions gets replaced to the less reactive ions and form the new product. This is called as the displacement reactions. Okay, the remaining last one will be discussed and then we stop here. That is the double displacement reaction. There are exchanging of ion between two reactants. The simple definitions of the double displacement type of reaction: this is the B double displacement reaction. This is the last one type of the chemical reactions in the third chapter. After that, we are again discuss the endothermic and exothermic reactions. Endothermic reactions, they get absorb the heat from the surrounding. This is the endothermic reaction. And exothermic reaction, the reactants are emitted the heat to the surrounding. But before that, the remaining part will be discussed in this lectures. These are the double displacement reactions. The simple definition: they are exchanging of ions in between two reactants in between two reactants to form a product. To form the product is called double displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction. The chemical reactions or two reactants are exchanges their ions or elements in that reaction. This is called as the double displacement reaction. For example, we have just discussed this example in the lecture number 1. That is the HCl, hydrochloric acid, is react with NaOH. The hydrochloric acid is react with NaOH. This Cl is react with to form the bond with the sodium, and this OH hydroxide is form bond with the H hydrogen to form the sodium chloride plus H2O. This is the examples of double displacement reaction. Again, when methyl chloride is react with water, for example, this is not impossible reactions, but when the methyl chloride is react with water to gives methyl alcohol NH3OH plus HCl, hydrochloric acid, or when the ethyl oxide, ethyl hydroxide, that means the ethyl alcohol is reacted with HCl to give ethyl chloride or H2O, or when the ethyl chloride is reacted with water to give ethyl hydroxide or ethyl alcohol and hydrochloric acid. In the reactions, the firstly, the chlorines is replaced at the place of OH. These are as similar, that is CH3Cl plus HOH. First of all, these chlorine is reactor or replace the place of OH. This is the first one time displacement, and this hydroxide is again replaced at the place of chlorine. This is the double times of displacement of two ions. That's why we call the double displacement reaction. The process, displacement process happens twice in a single reaction. This reaction is called as double displacement reaction. The exchanging of ions between the two reactants to form the products, this is called as the double displacement reactions. And these are the example when the ethyl chloride is reacted with the water to give ethyl hydroxide or ethyl alcohol and HCl, or another when HCl is reacted with the NaOH to form the NaCl and water. These are two examples of double displacement reaction. In the next lecture, we are discuss the endothermic